Hello, you're very welcome to Destination Uri's News Bite and Community TV here on a Monday evening. We have a very, very busy evening. Don't forget, 7:30, Una Walsh telling the history of South Armagh. Barra will like that one. And Rosie will be educated because I know Rosie likes the history. We've been watching the schools and the young ones telling us all the stories. So, Rosie and Barra, it's great to have you back here on a Monday night. I know,
Thanks
Rosie,
very much, Damien.
you're very busy tonight because you're the COVID supervisor for Ballyholland, and you're mad to get back over to the pitch later on. So we'll try and go through this as quick as we can. But Barra's going to go first because Barra has a few wee videos there to show us about the Rose Bowls and what's happening around Newtown. So Barra, I know you're in a hurry as well to get away tonight as well. So what's happening up around your part of the world?
All right, Damien. Yeah, just firstly, I suppose to get it out of the road, a couple of break-ins and burglaries round about in the past week. On Friday, there was a spate of burglaries around the Clockray, Camla, Lake, Craigan area. The perpetrators were intercepted, got away, and robbed the fishman on the Cross Square. So people were urged to be vigilant all over the weekend, and sure enough, first thing Monday morning, they were back at it again. They attempted to break into that house on the Old Camla Road, and thankfully they've been caught, Damien. So you'd be hoping that this would maybe curtail some of their endeavours moving forward. But anyway, yeah, we've got a busy show tonight due to Una Walsh, the fantastic Una Walsh, coming on at 7:30 to enlighten us all about the history of South Armagh. So Una is a frequent visitor to many community groups and schools around South Armagh, so she's well worth a listen to. I'm going to start as ever with the food parcel scheme. The food parcel scheme, as we all know, has come to an end now. So this is just to reflect back on what has been last week. So I'll just read out the figures for the Slieve-Gullion DEA area. In Bestbrook, there were 48 food parcels delivered, Camla 38, Cross 44, Forkhill 36, Mullaban 60, Newtown 160, and Whitecross 12. And that made 398 parcels delivered to Newtown altogether in the final week of that scheme. So a very, very good scheme it was. Newtown Community Association, who I'll be working with, I suppose, the most out of the whole lot, they were very, very proud of their efforts and endeavours. I think they represented the community very, very well. And indeed, the chairperson of Newry Morning Down District Council, Laura Devlin, came out on Thursday there to speak with the Community Association and just to find out how they had gotten on throughout the COVID-19 crisis. So I was delighted to get down among that and to meet with Laura and the Community Association. Just I think they're a shining light for community associations throughout this COVID-19 crisis, and fair play to them all. And as I said to them, and I shared it on Twitter the other day, just to keep her lit and to keep at it, and when the positivity's going, just to keep our hammering on. So last week I did a brief history of St Michael's GFC. This week I'm going to do a brief history of St Patrick's GFC in Cullyhanna. Next week then, fear not, I will go to Dorsey Emmett's and we'll make sure that everybody, and maybe the week after that, Silverbridge Harps GFC. So I'll go quickly through it. Cathal, when I want you to move on a photo, I'll tell you to push it on, right? So this is the history of Cullyhanna GFC. The first GAA club established in the area was founded in the early 1888 and was known as Cullyhanna John Shears. You can see a picture there of an Owen McMahon, Cullyhanna John Shears, taken in 1888. And it says in brackets, this may well be the oldest known GAA photograph in Ireland of a participant in his gear. Quite plain cotton top there with GAA across the front of it. Class. This team was initially very active, playing in many local tournaments and other competitions, but it seemed to have gone into decline in the early 1890s. And although football was played on and off in the parish of Lower Cregans by teams such as Tullyvallen, which would take in the Newtown area, and Dorsey, which is the other side of Cullyhanna, it was not until the early 1920s that a team named Cullyhanna was active again. This team called itself Cullyhanna St Patrick's and lasted for many years up until 1936. It was for many years a senior team which came close to winning the McKillop Cup on many occasions. This team dropped out of football again in 1938. That would coincide with the St Michael's team that we talked about last year coming in Now, Cullyhanna's history doesn't talk about this here, but St Michael's then got up and running in the late 1930s, and it would seem that there wasn't enough room in both areas for two teams. So in the early 1940s, a team was reformed in the parish and became known as Kevin Barry's. Since the field they played in was in the townland of Ballyholland, they were known by that name, Kevin Barry's Ballyholland. A few years later, the team moved to Joe Lennon's field just outside Cullyhanna and were then known as Cullyhanna Kevin Barry's. The late Cardinal O'Fee played for this team in its early years. A notable player on this Cullyhanna team was Mick O'Hanlon, who played midfield for Armagh in that memorable All-Ireland final of 1953. By 1956, the scourge of emigration forced the Cullyhanna and Dorsey clubs to amalgamate to form a team known as the Thomas Williams. If you want to push it on there now to the next photograph. The Thomas Williams' major success was in winning the club's first ever county championship title when they carried off the junior title in 1964. Push it on there again. 2 years later, with the coming of all county leagues, the Thomas Williams Club formally joined with St Michael's Club of Newtown to form a parish side known as Lower Craigan St Patrick's. That's what I talked about last week. After winning the two senior championships, by the late 50s, early 60s, the football team in Newtown, St Michael's, was gone again, and they amalgamated anyone that wanted to keep playing. There's Martin McGinn in that picture, and Aidan Carr in the back, Kieran Murray, Bertie Mullen. There's a few Newtown heads in that picture as well. So they had joined to form a parish side known as Lower Craigan St Patrick's. And this amalgamation kept going until they broke apart when Newtown reformed about 1973. And then in 2000, when Dorsey was revived as a separate unit. The last 25 years in the club's history has been by far the most successful in their history. At underage level, Cullyhanna has been among the most successful in the county. Camogie and ladies football teams are now well established in the club. 1998, you can push your way on there through these photographs. 1998 was a notable date in the club's history when the centenary of the founding of the first club in the area. The new grounds were reopened by the president of the GAA, the late Seamus Dowling, and by our former player, the late great Cardinal Tomás O'Fee. 2005 saw the completion of the new building complex built by the voluntary labour of our members. 2007 proved to be a very successful year for the club, with the men's and ladies and camogie team all winning trophies. No less than 13 different cups were won that year. These included an Armagh Juvenile and Minor Championship and the All-Ireland League Division 2. 2008 was also a very successful year, with the men's senior team winning the Intermediate Championship and the ladies winning the Armagh Junior Championship titles. In recent years, huge success for the minors, several different years, and the ladies football have kept going ever since as well. It's worth mentioning as well the huge achievements and contribution of Cullyhanna Gaels in Scorn and Og and in Score Shinshire down through the year. Some dedicated members of the club who have kept that alive for a few generations now. The major events were the opening of the new grounds in 1988, saw the club for the first time own its own field, and since that time, in all weather, training pitches added and changing rooms, social centre has been built in 2005 and 6, and in 2008 these facilities were officially opened by Ard Stewart, Padraig Duffy, followed by a challenge match between Dublin and Armagh. Most prominent players in the club, 1930s Eddie McMahon, who represented Armagh and Ulster for many years. The late Cardinal O'Fee played for native club in the early 1940s, and in 1953 the honour of providing Mick O'Hanlon, who played midfield for Armagh's first All-Ireland senior final appearance. In the modern era, Martin McQuillan won 5 Railway Cup medals with Ulster. In 2004, Kieran McKeever had the honour of being the first St Patrick's player to captain an Armagh All-Ireland Championship winning team when he led Armagh to the Ulster Under-21 title, and has subsequently won 3 Ulster Senior Championship medals. He also became, in 2008, the first Cullyhanna player to play for Ireland in the Compromise Rules series. So, fantastic history of the club provided for me today by Patrick Savage, and many thanks to Paddy for that. Myself and Paddy and Damien do the commentary on Destination Uri on Armagh TV from time to time, and Paddy's a good lad. So thanks a million for sharing that, Paddy, and I hope you're all happy with the history. Again, I'll do Dorsey Emmett's history next week, and then we'll do Silver Bridge the week after. So it's a good bit of crack, and it gets your club being talked about on Destination Uri. So keep that information coming to me as quickly as I can. I want to move on to a big shout out to my new godson, and that's Rossa McCann. We had Ross's christening on Saturday. It was a very strange christening. Everyone you see there in the picture were the only peoples in the chapel, bar the priest. So Father Dermot was fantastic in accommodating Damien McCann there, the Silver Bridge player, and his wife Blahin, who teaches with us in Gael School Father Nifa, and myself and Aisling Gribben stood for the child. So baby Rossa was 6 months when he was christened due to the lockdown with the coronavirus and that. So everybody was delighted to have wee Rossa christened. So from your godfather, Rossa, my who. Just moving on then, we've been talking about road bowls on and off the last few weeks. I took a video last week of Kieran Savage from Newtown throwing his bowl. You'll not be able to see where the bowl ended up, but I can assure you it was a very good shot. We're back at the road bowls tonight again. Here's Kieran. Where do you see how it's thrown? Excellent technique here. All right, thanks, Cal. So that bowl then went way up around the corner. So we're back tonight. We've got members of the Bowl Commonard Waha coming out tonight to examine the road. We were down to host the All-Ireland Intermediate this year and the Senior All-Ireland Road Bowls next year. But because it's sort of been curtailed this year, we're going to host whatever is this year, and then we've been guaranteed it for the next 2 years after that. So that's a fantastic boost for the Road Bowls fraternity in Newtown. So thanks a million. And then just one more shout out for Newtown Men's Shed, which officially reopens tomorrow, Tuesday the 30th of June, and it's opening at 10 a.m. There's the opening hours, 10 to 1 on a Tuesday, 10 to 1 on a Thursday, 1 to 4 on a Saturday. And then the further details, the number at the bottom, 07740 378 714. If you can give, that's Pete High. If you want to give him a ring or a text to say about the Men's Shed or about joining the Men's Shed, you're all very welcome to call down, all members and everyone else willing to call down tomorrow at 10 o'clock for the official reopening of Newtown Men's Shed. So just everybody have a good week and enjoy the fantastic history with Una Walsh. It's going to be well worth listening to, and I'll be back next week with another bit of news bites from Newtown. All right, Damien.
Okay, Barra, listen, thanks a million. Just in relation to the Men's Shed, what exactly takes place in the Men's Shed, do you know?
Yeah, I do know well. My dad's in the Men's Shed. The Men's Shed provides a space, an opportunity for men. You know, I suppose it would be for retired men, but not necessarily, not uniquely. You could find men with any man who just needs a wee bit of space and time to get away from the stresses of life, to go way down, to get a cup of tea with a lot of mates who are in the same boat, and to maybe make something. So they'll be making flower boxes and making picnic benches and making chairs and tables and turning their hand to everything. It's a fantastic bit of craft work going on down at the Men's Shed in Newtown, and it's all for a very good cause. I suppose it's about creating positive mental health among the men of the parish. So it's well attended, and you know, it's a real good. It's project work. You know, it's to keep men active and keep men busy and keep men focused on something. That's the idea between Men's Shed, Men's Head. You know.
Well, listen, Barra, thanks a million. I see now we've the women have come on board here, and of course we have Rosie and Helena. So listen, Barra, thanks a million, and we know we're going straight now to we're going to leave you, Helena, to the very last, and we're going to go to Rosie because Rosie has a bit of business to do down. She's a COVID officer for Ballyholland. So Rosie, tell us what's happening up around Ballyholland.
Thanks very much, Damien. You're all very welcome as usual. So I'm going to start off as always with a few of my birthday shout outs. Cahill, if you could start with the photos there. Like there's only a couple. So our first birthday shout out is for Kate O'Connor. Kate O'Connor, very happy birthday, Kate. Kate is the Camogie Committee Treasurer, and all the girls in the Camogie Club and of course Ballyholland Harps would like to wish Kate a very happy birthday. Our next birthday shout out is for James Keenan. Jamesy, he is one of our players, and everybody in Ballyholland would like to wish Jamesy a very happy birthday. The next one is that last photograph I sent you, Cahill. It is for a wedding anniversary shout out. It is for Adele and Brian O'Reilly. Happy 3rd wedding anniversary to Adele and Brian. Adele is one of our primary school teachers, and she's also our Ballyholland Youth Club leader. Very happy 3rd wedding anniversary from Dylan, Reese and all the family. So I'm going to move very swiftly on then to the Ballyholland GAA update. So, So obviously from the GAA, there's a lot going on at the minute with return to play. Seniors returned last Wednesday and Friday. So full training has resumed from this evening. So I'm not going to go into all the detail. All the WhatsApp groups for all the parents have been notified of everything that's happening with their teams. All I would ask from the club's point of view is, when you arrive at the grounds, can you please follow the traffic direction, and please ensure that your child, if it's underage, has completed the health questionnaire. Unfortunately, if the health questionnaire isn't filled out, they won't be able to train. But going by the WhatsApp groups, because I'm helping all the COVID supervisors, everybody seems well on their way, if not already ready to train. So if I could just reiterate, the health questionnaire is the most important thing to do, and then it must be reconfirmed on the app every time that you go to training, just to ensure that your health hasn't changed. This is an extremely important part of this here to enable us, if we needed to, for contact tracing. The next thing is the My Life Step Challenge for the club, which finishes tomorrow. It was for the month of June. So at this moment in time, our first place is Sandra McMahon, second is Jacqueline McFerrin, and third is Janice O'Callaghan. So if they are still in those positions tomorrow, Sandra will be the lucky winner of our £50 voucher for some club gear. But I imagine there'll be plenty of steps got up by today and tomorrow. So I will notify everybody of the top maybe 5 or 10 places for the club on Facebook over the next couple of days. But thank you everybody very much for taking part in that there. Then I just have a camogie update from Caroline Poland. Again, a bit like the club, at this stage all players from minor down should have received correspondence from their manager. If this isn't the case, can you please contact your manager? Senior camogues were back last week, and minors to under 12 will be back this week. All other age groups will be in the coming weeks, and like the club, anybody from under 12 or 11 down will be notified as and when those teams are returning to play. And then the last thing from the club is we would just like to thank again all the tradesmen around the Ballyholland area, our club members and our footballers, and all the lads that were at the club on Saturday finishing off the paving and the lights and a lot of the electrical work. Place is starting to look fantastic. So thanks very much to all the boys for all their help with that. Then I'm going to move on to the club lotto, and I believe Cahill has the video of the club lotto draw, which took place last night in the club at about 9:15.
Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome again to Ballyholland Club Rooms for our weekly lotto draw on Sunday, the 20th of June. Our lotto jackpot stands at £7,650. Thanks again to everybody who bought tickets in the shop or online. Just a big thank you to all the lads yesterday who came over and help us with the condo area, the shelter, and all our new jigsaw. We're in the right road now, so hopefully by this weekend we'll have all ready to take off. And that's it. Just an wee note about our club messages every Monday on Destination Community. So again, if you have any information that you want read out tomorrow night, get on to our PR Rosie Market here and see if you have it. So that's it. Short and sweet tonight. Just get on with the lotto draw. The first number up is number 30. The second number is number 4. The third number is number 2. And the fourth and final number is number 6. Same numbers again are 2, 4, 6, and 30. Thank you.
So that was our lotto draw last night. Just to recap on the numbers, they were 2, 4, 6, and 30. There was no jackpot winner, which the club will be delighted about. We had 3 £10 winners. Those were Karen Tinley through Club Ballyholland, Daisy McKibben online ticket sales, and Kathleen Fitzpatrick shop sales. So as you can see, you can win in a variety of ways. So the jackpot next week is £7,700, and as always, it can be done online and you can purchase tickets from the Ballyholland shop until 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening. So then I will move on to just a bit of local news. So there's not a lot happening this week. I just have my weekly update from Declan McIntyre, as always. He wanted to make locals, I suppose this is not just for Ballyholland, this is for everybody in the Newry area, that parking restrictions and traffic wardens are back in force again in Newry and elsewhere, but only on the actual street parking. The council have decided not to impose charges or have traffic wardens patrol the council-owned car parks until at least the 10th of August. So the car parks that are not requiring you to have a ticket are Basin Walk, the two along Canal, Abbey Way, Mill Street, Monaghan Street and New Street. Declan has also been contacted by road services to ensure that the remaining work that needs done around the Ballyholland Play Park will be completed. The safety railings and other road markings are all to be completed soon. So that is just the update from Declan McIntyre. And I suppose one thing he had given me last week was MOTs and driving tests are going to resume a phased return from the 20th of July. I know there's a lad in Ballyholland, Jack Shields, is down to get his driving test. So I'm hoping that Jack gets the first slot to have for a driving test. So that is my local news, and that is me for this week. I have no history snippet as I'm in a wee bit of a rush, but hopefully that's enough info for this evening.
Rosie, thanks a million. Of course, brilliant round off from Ballyholland, and well done. And we'll do this all again next week. So get away over to the field there and start checking
Good
out
man.
everybody.
Thank you, Damien.
Bye bye. All the best. And we're going to go to Helena. So Helena, take it away there. What's happening in your part of the world?
Hello, evening, Damien. Yeah, welcome to wet and soggy Meadow and Armagh Road. I'm still waiting for the sun to come so I can pump up this new swimming pool for the grandchildren. Still waiting. My news, it also is sort of short and sweet this week. Not a lot happening. I'll start first of all with our food bank. So this on Saturday we were out delivering week 14-15. And for the first time, unfortunately, over all of these weeks, it was absolutely empty and with rain, but it didn't discourage any of the food bank volunteers. We were out and about. Now, next week will be our final week for the food bank deliveries. And I have to say, I'll maybe talk about it in a bit more depth next week. We've lots of people to thank for donations and for help, continuous help over the last few months. So from an initiative that was talked about between 3 or 4 of us in the centre one evening a week before lockdown, this has been a journey for all of us, the guys who are volunteered, and it's been absolutely great. But I think I'll leave it until next week to go into that in a bit more detail, because it will be our final week, and I'll chat about that then. I also wanted to talk about our young people. I know that I spoke last week about the scourge of fires being lit and tires being lit and all the rest of it. So, and I did say that we'd been trying to engage with the young people and sort of persuade them away from this activity. So all seems to have been quiet this week. So I just want to commend the young people because, you know, usually we're sort of giving out a wee bit and maybe saying, you know, that they're not being the best behaved. But I do have to say, specifically through this lockdown, when so many young people have been away from school and away from their routine, you know, they actually have been fabulous, bar a few wee hiccups. And at the end of the day, look, we were all young once, and when you're that age, you think you're invincible and untouchable. But in the round of things, I think our young people have been exemplary. They've been fantastic, not just here in the Meadow and Armagh Road, but I'm sure all over the Newry district, because it's been a challenging time for both them and their parents. So well done, and fingers crossed that this is maybe slowed that down, the whole lighting the fires and generally sort of causing a bit of a nuisance. So well done everybody, and keep it up. You know, we don't need burnt bits of area and smoke filled estates and the fire service running out to put out relatively small fires when they could be needed elsewhere, and much more of a case of an emergency. So well done, and keep it up. Our street dance class today over in College Gardens was cancelled due to the weather. So keep an eye out on the Community Watch WhatsApp group and on the Meadow and Armagh Road Community Association Facebook page for an update on that, when that session will be rescheduled. Unfortunately, the weather just played the part in it, and Claire had to cancel that. I think I'll go on now to the birthday shout-outs. Cathal, if you have a couple, there's only a couple of them this week. We have 2 birthdays and 1 anniversary. So who do we have? So this is Pat Lundy, who born and reared in the Meadow in Slieve Gullion Road, and he had 60th birthday this week. And Pat, I haven't seen Pat for a long time, but he celebrated his 60th birthday, and I know that obviously he hasn't been living in the Meadow for a number of years, but his mum and his sister and all are still there. So congratulations on your 60th, Pat. Happy birthday from all your family and friends, and all the old friends that knew you many years ago running about the Meadow. And this is a special lady. She doesn't live in the Meadow in Armagh Road, but she does hail from here at one stage, and she has been a very regular donator to our community food bank, and it's Pauline Mcguire, and she's actually from Temple Hill. She celebrated her 60th birthday. I actually think it's today, but I know that the family did celebrate it the weekend. And Pauline is actually the other granny to my beautiful granddaughter, Aria. So Pauline, happy birthday personally from me. Happy birthday from all your friends in the Meadow and Armagh Road. Pauline loves the social dances on at the end of the month, on the last Friday of every month in the centre, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next number of months we hope to get something up and going again. Providing COVID sort of stays at bay. So happy birthday, Pauline. And then we have an anniversary. So happy anniversary to these 2 gorgeous people. They're like the Meadow's answer to Posh and Bex. Mickey Shields and his beautiful wife Darrell. Happy anniversary to you 2. From everybody in the Meadow and Armagh Road, looking really snazzy there. So I hope you had a lovely day for your anniversary. Congratulations. And then I just want to talk about I'm going to finish off talking about St Patrick's School, but I did want to say before I go on that next week I'm hoping to have a really special interview with a lifelong Newry man who comes from the bottom end of the Meadow, and I think he's in his 90s, approaching his 97th year. He's in his late 90s anyway. So I'm hoping to have a really nice interview with him next week. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be talking all things Newry from many moons ago. And finally, I'm going to just talk about the school. So obviously they're all closed up now for the summer until they go back in August. So I see Kieran Mackin, the principal of St Patrick's, had put up a communication on the school Facebook page just regarding the reopening of the school in August. So they're hoping to open around the 24th of August. And obviously there's going to be a new normal within the school for whatever length of time. He just wanted to assure parents and children that they're going to exhaust all options to have St Patrick's as close to its former self as possible for the return of the children, given any restrictions that they will have to put in place. So they're looking at probably staggered arrival and collection times. They're looking at a fresh uniform each day, or alternating between the uniform and the tracksuit. No school bags, a packed lunch with disposable packaging. Now, we all know it's going to be a lot for people to get used to and to adapt to, but I know that Kieran Mackin and the staff in St Patrick's will try to make that whole process as smooth as possible for the parents and the children. So all of that information is up on the St Patrick's Facebook page, and Kieran's little communication but just before that. That's all the information there that you need to know. I just sort of top line some of it. And obviously everything is subject to change, because this whole issue is fluid. So just let's hope things stay as they are. The infection rate stays down, and that we can get the kids back into school and into some sort of routine and normality, whatever that new normality may be. Because I think we probably all agree by this stage they need it, and so do we. So that is all this week from the Meadow. As I said, short and sweet. And hope to have that interview next week with the gentleman, and then just a final roundup for the community food bank. So that's
Helena,
me.
again, thanks a million. Just a wee quick funny one for you. Your headmaster in the school there, Mr. Mackin, he had bought a lot of 2 meter social distance stickers. And he says to Benny Tierney, he says, Benny, what am I going to do if they're going to put this down to a meter? And Benny says, cut them in half. So there you have it. So Helena,
very funny. Thank you.
That's a true bill. Well, according to Benny Tierney. So there you go. Listen, listen, thanks a million, and look forward to the interview next week. For the man that's nearly 97 years of age. So listen, thanks a million. We're in a bit of a rush here because we're going to go straight out of the community news, and then at 7:30 we're going to talk to the legendary Shanachie Una Walsh from Mullaban, and Una is going to be telling us all about the history of South Armagh. So please don't go away. Stay with us. We'll be back with Una at 7:30, and this, I promise, will be something special. So thanks a million for watching here this evening.